Oh, mic's on. It's been a while since I went live, guys, so forgive me. I needed a moment. We're using our Poverty to Millionaire Pure Love deck, Journey of Love 2 deck, the mystical healing reading cards, and of course, our wisdom of the unknown, which is white wisdom mana, and both of these are by members of our tribe. So, we're going to be looking into Divine Masculine's energy today, and I will warn you, I have not slept in 2 days. Didn't dawn on me to do a reading until I literally had to be told very, very loudly to do a reading. So, I've already blessed and shuffled these 3 decks. We're going to start here. I've already cleared our runes for clarification if needed. Let's get going. Is anybody here, by the way? Can anybody hear me? Hopefully you can. By the way, before I start this, I'm supposed to say to you, they're the 2 songs that led to this that have been like pounding in my brain or just like sweeping me away. I don't know the name of one of them. It's that Evanescence song. Like where they're like, wake me up inside. That's Evanescence, right? And then there's a song I know very well, which I thought was just, I had an earworm, which is Planet Soul Set You Free. Just over and over for days, you guys. So I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but I was supposed to mention this. So, all right, here we go. Wow. Okay. Wow. We have the 8 of Swords and Justice, but the way that they are, woo, there is something about this that is like hitting me really hard almost instantly. First of all, we start off with an 8, and I got a clear message that there has been a karmic reset. Like none we have ever seen. You should feel it by now, but if you don't, this reading may be what is supposed to help you unlock and process. But to see justice come up with it, especially this justice, because hold on a second. Yeah, look at this one. This reminds me of this. I'll show it in a second. She's lifting up the curtain of like space time. And so is this one. They're like opening it up, offering a new path. So that's actually kind of getting to me a little bit. Okay, hold on. Also with justice, we have that symbol of the 8 or the infinity symbol, which to me can be likened to a scale. So this is like, this is really huge. We also now have justice is 11. So we have 8 and 2 is 10. We have 8 of swords, justice, which you guys know sometimes it's like that feeling of throw them, what's it called? Lock them up and throw away the key. This is really, really trying to show us there is a karmic completion. It's like, don't ignore this. It is also trying to help us understand that there was a reason that we sank so low into it, and that there are things that we just could not see, we could not find. No matter how far you go, until this angel lifts this up like this to let you through. Same thing here. Like, you could be just talking to this angel without them doing this, like opening this up. And until they do that, you don't even know it exists. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't know to be like, hey, can you please open up your entire body case for me so I could enter you? Like, what? You just wouldn't know to ask that. And this is trying to help you understand something. If there are things that even you, as the highly advanced spiritual being that you are, the seeker that you are, were missing, what do you think happened to Divine Masculine? Most of them, majority of the time, do not know what's going on. That's where we hear the jokes of like Mercury's and Gatorade and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to keep up, I guess, with like society, but they don't even know that that stuff is what it is. So, all right, okay, I get the message. There's also something about this, like it's drawing me to it. You see the color scheme? Okay, focus, Grace. Focus. The Lovers. Um, y'all. 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 is balance. This is justice, but we have the scales. Karmic completion, closures, openings to the Lovers. The Lovers is about, sorry, the Archangel Raphael that guides this card, guides the Lovers, guides relationships, journeys, health journeys, making decisions. You understand what I'm trying to like? I'm just saying, I feel like this is so pointed and direct to us that there is a new door that has opened. I'm hearing your journey has been reconfigured. There is a shakeup. It's unfolding. Oh, I'm seeing growth spurt. Growth spurt. Why does that? Oh my goodness. I almost just threw cards down. Grace, you guys, do you remember how I say that where the divine feminine kind of has like a slow and steady growth, but the divine masculines is more of an exponential, or the way it appears, right, is that nothing's happening, and then there's these spikes almost, ooh, almost like breathing, breathing life into someone, bring me back to life. Something's going on. Okay, the growth spurt. This tells me the period leading up to this point, we don't even realize how important it was. We think this moment just triggered something, right? Like this. But think about it. In order for you to meet the angel at the moment that they decide to open up the timeline so that you can walk through, you had to know to get there. They had to know to get there. Who told them to go? Who told you to go? How long did that journey take you? What if this took like 6 months or something? So remember, there is something happening. Hold on. So the growth spurt says, I mean, think about like a baby, right? When a baby, they go through their seasons where they're like chunky, chubby, fatty, little thunder thighs, and then they get tall, right? And then they get chunky, they get tall. And so it's giving me this idea of like, there's that period that leads up to it where they're taking in all these nutrients, right? So I'm thinking about the spiritual nutrition that the divine masculine has been receiving that would allow them to have that growth spurt. The way I always describe it is think about high school. Think about when you left middle school, came to high school, or those summers between the school years where that one kid grows 6 inches, a whole foot, and you're like, what happened to him? What happened to him? That is what's happening right now. This is okay. I always talk about it kind of like this is how they grow, but I don't know if I've ever gotten a direct message that that's what's happening. So I'm kind of like, oh, okay. But what does that have to do with planet soul, set yourself free? The bring me back to life thing even. What is that song called? Is it called Bring Me Back to Life? Wake Me Up Inside? That's the only thing I really know. It's interesting. It's just making me wonder like, do they even, are they wanting this? Are they asking for it? Is this completely divinely led where they're just going along for the ride and they think it's this and that, but it's actually this and that? Okay. Hold on. My brain is actively losing this. Where did I get growth spurt? Was it a card? I think I still need to do one more card, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, this is ridiculous. I can't even get through this. Okay. I'm really glad I shuffled these. My goodness. Ah, Three of Swords. Y'all, I feel really silly, but I can't tell if this is right or not. You know, it's funny because we have the creator. I wonder if you're here. No, I don't, there's not very many people here. Hi, everybody. Who is here, by the way? Hi, Evan. Roland. I feel like your name's Roland, right? Hi, Blue Heart. Chris? What you doing? And Irene. Hi, I really appreciate you guys being here with me today. And thank you so much for taking the time out. I was looking here for something, yes? Ah, thank you. I never noticed. I always thought about this as like some sort of bed, right? Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my proposed bed. Okay. This is a broken sands of time, right? That's pretty wild. Because if that is what that is, and we're sitting here talking about timelines and um like karmic completions, I'm kind of blown because it's like, well, wait a minute. This is what we thought. This is what we thought, you guys. We have spent quite some time thinking the hourglass is broken. You can't fix that. Now, maybe if you have a glass blowing studio, sure. But I got a couple little hourglasses. I think they're so pretty and cool. So I have a couple of them on my bookshelf. And if one or both of them broke right now, this will be me. I'm not going to be thinking, oh, I'll fix it. I might even think, oh, I'll get a new one. But I really like these and I don't like buying stuff. So I want you to think, how have you been feeling about the energy for the last, I don't know, again, I'm hearing 6 months, but 3 to 6 months. Because if you also kind of believed this is it, it's over, it's not going to get better, guess what? GM has been locked into that for a while. They have been believing that there just was no chance for anything to change, for anything to get better, and they've been acting like it. This is somebody who, for all intents and purposes, has given up. All right. In terms of like looking at this reading and what we're seeing, and then a miracle, and then an angel, you know? I have snap again, and then a path opens up. What do we need to see? Wow. I promise you this. I will never go hungry again. The triumphant moment of the aha, of the eureka, of the feeling of going forward, of feeling like someone has given you a torch in the darkness. The Ace of Wands also represents the divine feminine. We are their spark. Perhaps this is an indication that our energies are beginning to collide. Okay, so we just got this deep, just to even show us where we are, where we've come from, but really it's about where we're going, and we need to understand divine masculines. I keep hearing like once in a blue moon, once in a blue moon, once in a blue moon, we have these big changes in the collective. Once in a blue moon, we have DMs that just go through things that are unexplainable, inexplicable, and I feel like that is where we're at right now. We're at a turning point that is so unexpected because it shouldn't be happening. Do you understand that? We should have been worn down. Everybody should have given up. Like, what's going on? Divine seems to have arrived. What are we missing? The angel with what is this, like ballerina, like black swan vibes in the sky? Ooh, this is giving me almost like avenging angel. But the seeker of air says we were being humbled so that our confidence in the path that we were on would begin to wane. Because if we stayed confident in what we were doing, almost like if the divine masculine stays confident, if they just keep doing whatever it is they're doing, why would they leave that path? No, they needed to give it up. They needed to completely release it. They needed to surrender. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Somebody doesn't like that word. I need you to give me a second. That's not. Just give me a second. You don't. What? Hold on, I'm so sorry, guys. You don't surrender. You don't surrender to a friend? What does that mean? You surrender to a foe. You don't. What does that mean? Whoa. Okay. This is what I typed. This is what I heard. You don't surrender to a friend, you surrender to a foe. So I typed, you don't surrender to a friend, you surrender to a foe. So what is the word for giving in to a friend? Giving in to a friend or a friendly argument or playful disagreement is called yielding or conceding, deferring, relenting, compromising. Huh. Compromising, giving a little ground so both of you are happy, relenting, giving in after initially resisting, like when you finally agree to watch their movie pick, and deferring is yielding to someone else's opinion out of respect. Hold on. This is going to upset me. This is going to upset me because I know I think I'm going in another direction, but I feel like I'm supposed to ask or talk about this because it's about this. It's about this. The avenging angel, and we have don't surrender, which is like, okay, we're all being told on this journey we're supposed to surrender, right? Surrender them. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If you surrender to an enemy, like you wave the white flag and you give up. I mean, again, I don't want to get into the semantics and nuance of like surrender on the journey. I understand that word. Okay. But what I'm saying is I'm hearing this download of you don't surrender to you surrender to an enemy. So what are we being told by these people to surrender to? Shit, I probably said, surrender or detach, right? We put all that stuff together. What are we being told? What is that? Who's the enemy? Is the DM the enemy in that moment? We surrender to them? No, that would not make sense on our spiritual journey. So this is actually asking us to reflect and to instead see it as a deferral, relent, or compromising. We need to yield to divine, not okay. 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 I thank you because I was confused. Divine masculine has just figured out who they're meant to trust. And on this journey of them making these decisions on whether or not to keep going or to give up or whatever, they were not willing to surrender. And maybe they were right? They could see that in giving up like that, it was like giving into some enemy that probably darkness or whatever wanted them to just quit. But that was not what divine was asking them to do. But they didn't know any better. Now I feel that they're sensing and understanding it is time to yield. It is time to compromise. I love this idea of the divine masculine realizing this. I'm sorry, but y'all don't think these definitions are crazy? To relent, giving in after initially resisting. That is the common thing in our journeys. Is most of our DMs didn't want a relationship or something, right? Like in the beginning. So if they come in and they have relented to us, that word doesn't sound great for like, oh, I'll relent and I'll get in a relationship with you. But the idea behind it, right? The giving in is like, whoa. Even the compromising, giving a little ground so both of you are happy. They want us to be happy on our own because they're not willing to compromise with us. This is saying like, this is a person who is willing to yield, and they're yielding to us because they understand that we're being guided by divine. When we surrender and we don't know what we're surrendering to, that I'm gonna have to explore that deeper, because y'all know I'm warrior spirit mother kind of vibe. Like we all have our different divine feminine roles. I am queen mother murder. Like okay, so I'm a little upset right now at that term. I need to let that go. But I'm really blown away by this idea of maybe we've been doing it wrong, and maybe divine masculine is about to do this the right way. All right, that was a tangent, and I'm gonna have to explore that later. There is something going on right now. All right, okay. Now, we have 11 though, Grace. Pay attention. We have the Ace of Wands and the Seeker of Air. Both. Do you notice that the what would you call that? Like the figure, the stance is very similar. Like she has her ballerina vibe going. She's leaning back, and it almost looks like the plant. So it really, to me, is confirming this idea of the divine feminine coming in, the divine spark. But this idea of the angel who comes in and saves the day, the miracle energy that comes in and saves the day, it's almost like divine is embodying us energy. Like divine is like really stepping in order to make that timeline just, I don't even know what you would call that. If someone walked up to you right now and just opened a portal to a new timeline and said, walk through here and this is your good path. This is an optimistic path instead of that pessimistic path that had you thinking that you were never going to see the light of day again. It's like there is something very magical and powerful about this energy, and it's like, yeah, divine's over there doing it, but it also feels like divine is in here doing it, though I can't quite understand it. So we have divine masculines who are being called into this awakening energy, right? We have I don't know what we have divine masculines who, whoa, that was weird. Did you guys see that? Could you even see it? No, you can't because it's off screen. That's crazy. I went to put the deck down and then I lifted like my fingers up and this card flipped like that. I can't even do it now because I don't know how I just did that. Every day offers a chance to create something extraordinary. A new beginning. I mean, that was the back card, but still the fact that it wanted to flip. What was I just saying? I'm sorry. Talking about the divine masculine, they're having this understanding, and it's almost like they woke up one day and they were just different. They're okay now. They weren't okay for a really, really long time. I just realized I don't really need to do that. I think this is the only one I want to focus on. We're going to hold off on these for a moment. We're going to use those as clarifiers. But hold on. We do need to look at the big picture energy. So we see what divine masculine is experiencing and how it's even kind of maybe influencing our energy a little bit. But what do we need to know about what divine is up to? So now let's actually look at this card for real. So listen to your guardian angel. Why do you listen to them? Because they'll tell you where to meet them to access. Like, this is the mountains and this is the beach. They will tell you everything you need to know to get to where you're going. And look, it's 19. It's 10. Oh, okay. And then what? It's a no. Divine is telling divine masculine, no. You dug your heels in and you told me this is what you were going to do, and I'm sorry, no. But that no was the best yes the divine masculine could have received. Because in the same way, there are divine feminines who say to me all the time, like, if they would just tell me if they want to be with me or not, like, even if they told me, hey, I can't be with you for this many years or because of XYZ, but at this time I want to be with you, can you wait for me? Like divine feminines who are with someone who's got to wait for divorce, for the kids' sake, stuff like that. Like, there's all these different reasons. They said if their person would just be direct with them, honest with them, real with them, they'd be fine. If divine would come in and just tell them, here's the time, here's the date, they'd be okay. They'd be able to wait 20 years if it was then, because they knew that they would have those, 20 years after. And this is kind of coming in and saying, well, what if you got that? What if you got a date, a time, whatever? How would you feel? And I think there are some people who are like, nah, that wouldn't be enough for me. I'd still be, like anxious or waiting. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to do anything with my time. But there are divine feminists who are like, no, I think I would actually be able to really move on with my life until that point. Well, that's what's just happened to divine masculine. Something that they kind of were saying, like, look, if I could just have this information, if you could just tell me this, or if I could see that, I'll be happy. They got that. What do we need to understand about these cards really quick? I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I just want to make sure. 16 and 19. Interesting. Whoa. Right in the middle of them, 18 is learn from karma. It's time to balance the scales. Y'all, something's going on. Okay, hold on though. What am I doing? So it's a no. It's time to stop pushing and forcing things to happen. Take time to meditate on what's important to let go of in your life and what you should be focusing on. And then 19, you are being guided in a new direction. This is wild. I mean, this is okay, Grace. It asks you to spend more time in meditation and prayer. So both of these, focusing on understanding more about your higher nature, in particular, what is eternal and truly meaningful for you and the world, as opposed to what is transient. You guys, twin flame, eternality is pretty important. Infinity is eternal type thing. Like, this reading is impacting, that's not the word, but it's in on itself, and it's kind of like shaking me up a little bit, and I haven't slept in 2 days. Like, when I say 2 days, I mean I have not actually slept since I woke up Sunday morning. So I'm like, forgive me. I am a bit blah. This was called to my attention. Your journey is yours to design. Here. Every day offers me a chance. That's why this flipped. Divine is trying to help us understand something. Divine masculine has a new way of looking at things. The balance, the rebalancing, I'm gonna be real, it almost gives like chemical rebalancing. Like somebody's body finally had a chance to get back to normal. This is nuts. Okay, all right. I think we've had enough time exploring the energy. Let's actually look at what it is that we need to know. I want to kind of start with the divine masculine, I guess maybe leading up to this point. Let's get some cards here on the table. Let's start with, let me just get one while we're laying these out. Oh, I'm going to take strength because the Three of Swords is the card we already saw, and it's trying to clarify something for us. Leading up to this point, oof. Oh, that's the cliff. Wow. Leading up to this point, the divine masculine has been in a place where they were trying to hold it together. Okay. I'm still really thinking it's basically just been since. Does anybody know what happened in December? Like, I guess astrologically, probably. What was that eclipse season? Is no, I don't think. Can someone give me an idea if they remember? Because I feel like that's about that time. All right. Yeah. So about for like the last 6 months, the divine masculine has been doing everything they can to try to just act like everything's cool because that's what they've always done. But it really wasn't working this time around. And they really had gotten to this point where it was like, all right, I've got to just come to terms. I'm hearing radical acceptance. I have to come to terms with the fact that this is it. And for some reason, it didn't feel quite right. I just realized these have the infinity symbol on the back. I grabbed these before I started seeing that. This is crazy. It's everywhere. And so they're at this point now where it's like, all right, it's over. It's done, right? And then divine appears to them. Oh. Let's put this away. Then divine appears to them and says to them, listen to me. I'm going to give you an opportunity here. And everything that you just were willing to give up, you made room for it. The fact that you were finally willing to come up here to this high place that I've been calling you to for such a long time, because you had no other choice. Good. I've been trying to get your attention. Welcome. Okay. So the last 6 months have been about the divine masculine feeling like they might as well, right? Oh, I have nothing else to do. I have nothing better to do. There's no other way. I don't, and that is kind of the guiding light for them, right? But as the guiding light is sending them in and they're trying to open themselves up and say, maybe, sure, I don't know, I'll try, they're also still feeling the true feeling, right? Like the faking it till you make it is not working. And I think at this point, we see the real image. And the real image is the strength card from the tarot deck. This looks like, in divine masculine's mind, I made all these choices. I'm not afraid. But in all reality, what was happening, I think spiritually, is that the divine masculine was getting up to that point so that divine could finally help them heal. And that humility wasn't really there at first. So this is interesting because this says you have a divine masculine who, if they've been in your life, if you've talked to them, if you've seen them, if you've gotten to experience their energy a little bit, they're a little bit all over the place. There's almost a zen in their nature because of the giving in, because of the surrendering, yielding maybe. Surrender at first. But then there's also where you can tell something's wrong. You can tell that they're not themselves. And if you have not seen them or you have not spoken to them, you might have felt within yourself that same like weariness, that same heaviness, that same weakness, that same almost kind of leading to exhaustion. It's hard for us to understand when we're interpreting through the lens of our DM. I'm going to give you a little clarity right here. What is it that they were feeling, but ignoring, denying, but you were feeling and couldn't really understand? Oh, the judgment. Okay. This is huge because judgment for the divine masculines is, I think, even rougher on them than it is on us. We have a little bit more of like a detachment to the world where they're very much more connected to it. We've become more judgmental as a society. Like this is something where them judging themselves with the same rubric that they have been judging others with has now like really hurt them. And that goes along with the trend that we saw kind of starting last year, where the DMs were really just admitting they were their own problem, admitting that they were lying, that they wanted a relationship, they wanted love, they wanted to experience those emotional depths, they wanted to understand things better. Like all that stuff that they were telling you, it was false. So the last 6 months, they've been having to sit with the fact that they did this to themselves. They're lonely, but there's someone who loves them. They desire like a real connection, and there is someone out there who sparks them like none other. They have realized that they've done so much damage to their life by not being authentic, but the judgment that they're placing on themselves and the judgment that they feel from the world around them for being so foolish has now kind of impacted your energy. If you didn't understand what was happening, and this is where I think it's really important for us as readers, right? People who are reading cards, providing information to people, to share this wisdom and just say, hey, listen, make sure you know this, make sure you ground yourself, make sure you do this, make sure you do that while you're on this journey so that you'll know what's yours and what's theirs, so that you won't be overwhelmed on days where you're exhausted, you've got a lot going on, you're tired, and now their energy comes flooding in and think it's yours or get confused. This says if you didn't know, if you didn't sense it, if you weren't meant to know, because that can also be a thing, you may have spent the entirety of 2026 feeling like a failure, feeling like things were never going to get better, feeling like this is it and you made your bed and you have to lie in it. Not knowing that your DM's pain and this integration and this like exponential growth was so strong and so powerful that it did need a little bit of a buffer. It did probably need you to hold a little bit of space. And so now you're thinking like, I don't know why I feel so bad. I shouldn't feel so bad. Now on their side, we have divine masculines who I think this is kind of explaining the bravado. This is explaining the reason why divine is having to kind of humble them in some ways, like really, really bad. But the good thing about judgment is it's right close to the end. I don't know if you notice how many major arcana cards we've had so far, right? But you see what we got here. Big picture energy, big movement, reaching the final destination of a path gone wrong. This is about divine masculine releasing their soul limitations and stepping into what divine has been trying to tell them so that this can be real, so that they can stand next to this lion of divine and take orders instead of running like a child and then being embarrassed afterwards. We're talking about divine masculines who are actually looking at the things that would make them your masculine, right? Not your divine partner, which is like your spiritual connection, but your divine masculine, which is all the opposite energies of you that were meant to balance the connection out that you two have for whatever work you're meant to do together here. If they're not holding their what is that? If they're not carrying their weight, if they're not holding space for your growth and integration, if they're not doing all that kind of stuff, this journey gets very, very, very heavy. Okay? And then when you have someone who's standing right next to you and they're in some areas more powerful than you, right? Maybe in their gifting, those are your weaknesses. So you're looking at them and thinking, I mean, I know how to make a little bit of sparks, but you can make lightning. Why won't you do it? And you're doing more work on learning about their gifts and they're trying to help them integrate. You're doing all this stuff and even getting almost like seemingly more powerful than them in their areas because you're the only one making an effort. That's no more. They're tired of being that person. They're tired of the spiritual laziness. They're tired of themselves. I don't know how else to put this. What happened to create this? And what I really want to know is how is this affecting the way that they are perceiving you? Whoa! What the? What the? Oh my. Okay, that made me uncomfortable. Sorry. Sometimes what did you? Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. I just looked at my screen and watched it happen, and I think you should rewind that and look at that card fly because I don't know what the fuck that just was. Sorry. Also, I shuffled this card, put it back in the deck, and it somehow is back. It's your divine masculine either saw you, had a dream about you, had a vision about you, had some sort of clarity about you. Because this almost feels like it went directly to you first. They had a moment and then it's you again, meaning their focus was brought to think of you in the first place. Like as they're doing all this, as they're going through this process, it was brought to think of you in the first place, probably because in spite of their denial and in spite of a lot of us thinking, you know what, they just don't even love me, they don't respect me, don't care about me, they're obsessed with you. And again, there are DMs, especially lower DMs who are not trying to grow, who are, being really extra stubborn, who are running into darkness headfirst, like some of the worst kinds of people until they change kind of DMs, who they go out of their way to avoid thinking about you, which to me still denotes some sort of obsession, right? Like you have to like go out of your way to not let you think about me. Like, sounds like a little bit of a problem. But for the most part, they are. The most of the collective, even those of them who they almost seem like annoyed with you, it's because you're always on their fucking mind. Every time something happens in their life, they want to call you. Every time, good or bad. Every time they need something, want something, they want to call you. Every time there's a moment where it feels like you should be there, almost a deja vu, they have a moment. And something in them going through the whole overview of how they got to this point, it made them look at you and they realized they broke the glass. They broke the hourglass. You were standing next to it and you were saying, like, I don't know, pretend it's this, right? And you're standing next to them and you're saying to them, this is the most valuable substance in the world to you and I because it allows us to change the world. And they take the thing and they fucking throw it. And they watch it crack and you just stare at it. Imagine in like a movie if something like that happened, right? That's your life. So think about that. You're watching like The Lord of the Rings or something. I've never seen it. But you're watching like that, something like that, really, really intense, world changing, world destroying, I'm assuming, right? Kind of energy. And isn't there something like with a ring? And it's like, so let's just, oh, duh, Lord of the Rings. Stop it, Grace. Okay. But it's like, what if the whole thing, the way the author wrote the story is that the book ends by after all this epic journey, somebody can destroys it or messes it up or something that it, seemed like it was impossible or just foolish. Like, don't do that. Why would you do that? It's like burning your own house down. They have this visual of that version of you, the version of you that looked at them almost like, how could you do this? And in that moment, they became so infuriated with you because instead of telling them, you know what, it's fine. I know that you had no self control just now. I know that you weren't thinking just now. I'm sure divine will fix it. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the things that deep down we kind of know, or maybe we did, maybe we forgot. Instead, we we broke. We just broke, and they could see it. Even if maybe we didn't like cry or they could just see there was this dejection in us. Like, are you for real? And it wasn't about being rejected. No, it was about like, bro, we're supposed to save the planet and you just press the button for the nukes. Are you crazy? And so this is the view that they have of you is, what did I do? Like, why did I do that? And if you're nervous about what I did, uh-oh, it must be really bad. So what I think right now, what we need to know is we have somebody who is thinking about all the bad stuff that they did. They're thinking about all of the reasons why this isn't going to work, as they're being told, I'm going to give you a chance. And you get to, it's right here. I just read it, right? Yeah. Your journey is yours to design. Embrace the courage to leave the past behind and step into your next chapter. Every moment is an opportunity to rewrite your story and begin anew. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter. Oh, what matters is where you choose to go. Divine is saying to them, listen, oh, wow, look at that. Look, it's almost like the judgment is helping to manifest this toll, the coin for the toll, so they could pay the toll. Can you see this? See what I'm saying? It's like you now can pay the toll to go through. Where'd the angel go? To go through into this new thing. Okay, so they needed to sit with that. They needed to feel bad. I think the reason I'm supposed to share this with you is if you have had a tough interaction with your person in the last 6 months, or really if your last interaction was that moment, please understand it needed to happen. So don't look back and go, oh my gosh, I have so many regrets. I can't believe I did that. I probably ruined a relationship or our future or whatever. No, 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 no. That actually was necessary because that was connected to this. It may be what tips the scales, and it's a freaking coin. Isn't this crazy? It may be what tips the scales into your favor, into someone saying, you know what? It's time for love. It's time for union. It's time for connection. I have to make this up to you. I have to try to fix what I broke, not just with us, but with whatever it is me and you are supposed to do in this world. Okay. Please like the video, guys. I forgot I was supposed to say that earlier. Okay. Oh, people are here. Who's this? Oh, hey, everybody. Okay. All right. I can't really read that right now, though. So, so for the journey's been reconfigured. That's like if I'm going to reconfigure something, like right now, if I wanted to reconfigure this reading, it's like I'm intentionally kind of moving things around, right? I'm restructuring it. I'm adjusting it. I'm redirecting it, and I think that says that when divine comes in, I'm so glad that this card came up, because the card that I want to show you, that has that exact same vibe of like the new timeline entry, is in this deck somewhere. So I'm actually really glad this is here. I think I might just kind of but it's like, yeah, divine has given us access to the path, but also redirected us to it. And maybe that's why we felt so bad lately. Maybe a part of that radical acceptance of like, I guess this is what it is, and then going in just a direction maybe we didn't expect to or didn't think we didn't want to, whatever. I don't know. I'm seeing a vision right now of like, oh, you're in an area that you're not from. You're on a road trip. Your phone just died. The only thing you know is to keep going on the road you're on right now. And then there's a gas station, cafe, where you can charge your phone up, get the directions, and halfway down that road where it's a long path you've got to travel to get to that destination so that you can actually go forward. Halfway down that road, there's a detour. And you try to get the attention of the cops, like, hey, I don't know where I'm going. Can you help me? No one will talk to you. They just say, move on, move on. And so you make this huge pivot, and you're like, I mean, I want you to really think about that for a second. How are you feeling in the moment when you were already panicked before? You were already worried before. But now, on the path that you were getting to, just to get to the respite, you've been detoured again? Real life fear of, what if I run out of gas? What if no one will help me? Like, what if something goes wrong? All that stuff is there. Not realizing that on this detour, the detour that they're sending you to actually is taking you directly to the cafe faster. You don't know that because you're not from the area. You can't see it because your phone's dead and you don't have a GPS. But Divine wanted to actually decrease the amount of time you were going to spend in pain. So you were right. The journey that you were on was stressful. It was a lot, actually. It was overwhelming. Your divine masculine, what they were experiencing like the last 6 months and longer, obviously, too, but especially that pain of like, now my phone's dead. Now, you know what I mean? All that. It was a lot. And it was probably going to be longer than you thought. It's the same thing if you're driving down that road to the destination and you just kind of vaguely remember that it's going to take you like at least an hour, maybe longer to get there. You know that point halfway through that first time you're going somewhere that you've never been before where it seems really, really far and you start to wonder, did I go the wrong direction? Like all that. It was going to get worse. And Divine has just opened up a portal for us. A portal. I don't know why I keep seeing timeline changes, but it's clearly a portal. And I don't know what. Now I feel like I need to look up. Was there a portal? Oh my gosh, Grace. Did you forget the portal dates? Oh my gosh, you guys. I forgot there's portals. Son of a. Oh, is anybody here that already knows the new wave portals for this year? Oh, I'm so upset. Oh, crap. I don't even know. What if I type? Ooh. Okay, what if I say that? Ah, okay. Hold on, guys. I found the dates. You. Oh my goodness. Something's up, you guys. Something's up. Listen. The 2018 portal opened in mid-May. Like a couple. Oh, the moons, blue moon, the new moon. Okay, Grace. I don't know what any of this means, you guys. I'm so freaked out right now. Okay. It was a portal, but what is that? Okay, what is did I do anything else about it? I don't have time for this right now. Hold on, can I find it? Oh, Neptune opening square. When does that end? That's not it though. Oh my gosh, I did a whole freaking video on this and I have the astrology. Oh, this is dope actually. Oh, okay. This is what I wrote in my download. Beginning at the end of January through mid-April to counter the 2025 yuck, we had a love period. And then again in mid-June. So whatever is happening with this blue moon is tied to the portal a couple weeks ago. Was that a Scorpio new moon? Or was that a full moon in Scorpio a month ago? See, Grace here, I shouldn't have opened up the astrology can of worms, you guys. You know I don't know this stuff. And then 2 weeks later, we have the beginning of a new love portal. Okay. So there's 4 love portals this year. We already had one, and it really, really peaked in towards like March, April. Now on June 9th, we have Venus conjoining Jupiter, plunge into the deep end of life's pleasures, and June 16th, Venus trines Neptune, immerse yourself in what feels enchanting now. What this tells me is, remember how I talked about the whole path to getting to the angel, meaning even the growth spurt that you have as a kid is tied to the food you've been eating for the last however long. You know what I mean? It's like you had to charge up almost. This seems as if, because what I just read was the overall astrology, not our astrology as twin flames. You guys know, if you know the new wave prophecy, we have our own as divine feminine and divine masculine. Like we have a chart, like a birth chart as twin flames, completely separate from our 3D birth charts as twin flames. Anyways, we also have astrology as twin flames. That's just our stuff, right? But this is the general astrology I'm talking about. So what this tells me is the twin flame astrology and the general astrology by divine design created this moment This is a lot of energy that needed to come together at this moment in order for us to be able to even access it. And that means that you've probably felt the buzz. You probably, I don't know about you, I actually have been very zen this year, but almost dissociated, like detached zen because of the surgery. There was the stress. There was a lot for me that was kind of just like, normally I probably would have been going nuts, but actually, I don't know. I was in my own version of radical acceptance, I guess. So looking at this, it's like, what are the odds that we have this period in the beginning to support the judgment season, right? As the divine masculine is sitting there thinking in 2026 about just how they made their own bed and how this is it. Then we have a opening up of a portal and love energy in the astrology, like in the skies, okay, in the cosmos, coming in with a light worker purpose mission energy. Those are what's necessary for twin flames to come together. That's why so many people scoff at me about like light work and stuff like that, and I'll still always talk about it. You can be mad if you want to, but twin flames are light workers. Okay, not all light workers are twin flames, but all twin flames are light workers, and we were created as a pair, as two, for a reason. What we're here to do is super important, and we have to have our individual purposes. That's how life, that's how the universe works. As twin flames, you don't only have one purpose that you have together. You actually really have like 2/3 that you have to support. You have your purpose, they have their purpose, and then you have your shared mission. Okay, so that's three missions in that are connected through you guys. This says that the divine masculine being willing to accept that mission, that light work, that success, and all that is absolutely tied to love and relationships for them. I think for us, we're able to go achieve and do things because that's not what matters. It's relationship stuff that matters more to us. Okay. But for them, God won't, or not God, I'm God, but not I believe in God. God, source, spirit, divine, universe, Gaia, like whatever you believe in, I believe like that divine being won't let them have that success, won't let them have that love. But in order to get through that shell that they've developed, because the world says relationships are stupid and, men and women and, well, masculine and feminine doesn't belong together anymore, and all this crazy stuff that's been getting worse and worse the last like 10 years, it's really hard for them to just accept it, right? To just, not to surrender, but to yield, to relent, to compromise. Because it's like, I now have to go against everything that I told myself I was. I have to go against every word I ever spoke to others, like, yeah, I'm never going to be in a relationship, all that different stuff. I have to fight all of that in order to give in to this and be with you. Okay, this is interesting to me. But let's keep going. So we now see that we have, I think, mid-May to mid-June. So what we call that? Basically like May 15th to June 16th. This whole thing is this massive open timeline shift. And the beauty of it is that tells me that divine is not asking you to walk through it on a day, because sometimes there's been like a single day where you better have your shit together because it's about to go down. And if you're not ready and you're not in the right energy and frequency, when the wave of energy comes through, it'll pass you right by. And you'll end up still in the same dimension. It's kind of almost like a filter, and you have to be the right size and shape to be able to fit through it to go along. Well, now divine is saying, no, this is not one of those. This is a month. You can trickle in, you can walk in and out if you want to. Just make sure you're on the right side of it at the other side, or at the end of that period. So by mid-June, I think this is divine giving you a little heads up. There are some of you who may be either in union. It was already predicted as well in the forecast. So that's also another thing. But you could also be in contact, communication. You could be guided towards things that feel more connected to this new timeline. Make sure you're vibrating in the right frequencies, okay? Make sure that the wavelength that you're kind of giving off is the one that you would want, that you would look back on any given day in this month I'm talking about right now and go, yeah, that's the me I wanted to be. All right, just a heads up, because, with that heads up, there's the coin again. Look at that. this angel and then there's the light. What is going on with this light? Oh, what was I gonna say? All right, let it go. Got distracted, so that's not obviously important. Okay. I got distracted by my new wave stuff. Got distracted by the what made me even look that up? What just happened? That see, this is what I'm saying, you guys. This is a rough reading. I'm sorry. Um, hmm. What was I talking about? What made me say the new wave? Oh, the portal. That. This. We were talking about this. The coin to go through the portal. Meaning you have everything you need. And okay, what is the coin? If you're like, Grace, how? The energy that you need to be in is this. Every day offers me a chance to create something extraordinary. I just saw it. Where did it go? Hold on. When I was looking it up. We're in the season. Remember I said there's your chart, right? You and your person have your chart, there's their chart, and then you have a combined chart, right? Well, on a higher level, you also have a twin flame chart. We all twin flames have the same chart, like in terms of the spiritual level. And then there's also like above that is just the general astrology. Okay. Well, in our twin flame astrology, that new wave prophecy, the twin flame timeline attached to the overall good versus evil light worker thing that we've got going. Okay, the whole reason we are, the whole reason we be. Okay, this fourth season says we must believe that our power can transform the world around us. That's what we must learn by 2030 in order to have mastered this fourth season, which is the season of divine manifestation. So, this is interesting. You, maybe not, but many of us gave up for like 6 months on whatever level of giving up, okay? Or we gave in, we did radical acceptance, whatever it was. But as a part of that, that also meant we stopped trying to manifest something that we were trying to manifest for a long time. Divine basically just said to us, and divine masculine, yeah, it's a no. Stop that. Quit. You're wasting your energy. But now that means we're going to have to make a pointed effort to get back into the belief that manifestation works. Because sometimes in our stubbornness, what we'll do instead is we'll convince ourselves that, we just weren't trying hard enough, that it was our fault, we're not good enough, we're not a good manifester, that's not our gifting. We'll do all this instead of just admitting, maybe I didn't know what I was doing, or maybe I misunderstood something, or maybe I was trying to manifest something that wasn't mine energetically, right? And now divine is saying, I need you to come back from the yielding and the submission and all the things that you were doing. And I need you to step back into your role and be powerful again. And I'm going to actually give you the energy to feel comfortable to do that. This is deep. This is freaking me out a little bit. What are they no longer avoiding when it comes to like love, relationships, us? What are they no longer avoiding? Okay. First of all, Four of Wands. Second of all, look at the light. Look at the light. There it is again. The toll has been, when you pay it, it's almost like it stays with you. I can't, this is such a, what does that even mean, Grace? But it's like, imagine the Ace of Pentacles with the guy with the hand. Okay, so Divine's coming out. Here's a pentacle. You take the pentacle. Divine says, this is your toll to go and cross into the portal. You go, okay, cool. And you get there and you give the angel the portal or the thing, the toll. But instead of the angel keeping the toll is actually activating the timeline. Oh my gosh, we've been building brick by brick. We've been building the bridge to the location as we're traveling. That's why it's so precarious. That's why it's so nerve-wracking. That's why it feels so stupid and foolish. And no one builds a bridge like this. Actually, let me see. Do people do that? Can you build a bridge? How do I say this? Along the way without having access to the other side? Okay. specialized construction techniques to safely push structures across open gaps. Open gaps. Oh my gosh. Like rivers or deep chasms using only the starting side. Cantilever. This is making me think about the catapult for some reason. I'm telling you, this is a new way of thinking, making the impossible possible. This is learning things that when you didn't know them and you thought they were impossible, you simply didn't understand them. This is a new understanding, but of this is expansion. You guys, I can't even begin. I just asked, what is your divine masculine no longer avoiding? And reunion came up. I there's this is I just get so frustrated when I do these readings. Oh, I always get so frustrated because I know the people are gonna watch them. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. This is a lot, actually. I want to look at this. Okay. So we have this energy of the new beginning. Wait, where'd that go? Oh, that's here. Okay. What's up here? Look, they're designing something. There's all these coins, but they have to find the right one. Focus. Why does the divine masculine suddenly see reunion as something that should be embraced? What? And I know some of us don't like to hear that there's a connection that is not always just like, oh, because I love you so much. Sometimes that's not it, guys. Not at least not at first, right? So it's like, what is it? What is it that the divine masculine has realized about with this truth? Every day offers me a chance to create something extraordinary. With the understanding that they actually have power, that their power can transform the world around them, that there's an obligation and a duty to do so, right? Like, okay, why did they make the connection finally? Okay, with you in love and relationships. Here. Ooh. He has the coin, she has the fire. There's the world, there's the transformation. And this is almost it's giving matrix, it's giving kind of like the twin flame the twin flame matrix. See, some of you guys don't even know. Oh my goodness. There's so much that I haven't talked about and there's so much that I don't even know how to share. Okay. There are actually 4 types of twin flames. A lot of people don't know that. I got a download about a year or 2 ago that blew me away, and I'm seeing it now. And the divine masculine now sees the connection between your gifting, your power, and the way that you see the world. It was almost like you were living inside of the portal in spirit, but living in wherever you've been in the physical, right? You already knew what the energy of your future looked like. You could sense it. It's how you were being pulled to it like a magnet the whole time. And then on the other side of it, now that they're starting to see you and them and reunion and love and having the chance to create something extraordinary, and the tolls and how the tolls actually become the light. The tolls are the activation for each of our almost like our realm on the timeline. Oh, this is so whatever it is, they now understand there's more. It's almost like they get that you guys are not the only ones. Maybe they don't know me and Mr. Lightwork exist, but I think they're starting to understand all those beautiful couples out there who when people say couple goals. I think the DM, this is that. This is couple goals. Oh, hold on. Empowerment. I claim my power. Look at this. I'm shaking. My power can transform the world around me. I claim my power and to create, change, and shape my future. I'm reading something completely separate. What is happening right now? Empowerment is recognizing your ability to take control of your life. This is insane. It's the confidence to make decisions. Archangel Raphael or the lovers already talked about this. Take risks and build the future you desire. Designing our own future. It's everywhere. This is true empowerment comes from within, fueled by self-belief and action. Use this card to remind yourself of your innate power. So your divine masculine's power, the reason that their soul was bound was that something did not want them free. Something did not want the fullness that your divine masculine, when your DM, you ever met like an old guy or an old lady? Like, you ever met somebody who's just clearly like an ascended master in more than one thing? Like they are just different. And it's almost like I want to be me when I get older, but I want to be like the you of me, right? I want to be the best version of me. And I feel like I have met the best version of you. That version of your DM is something that you should focus on sometimes. Because that's the version of them that, just like you can see your true estate, right? Like the timeline you were always going to exist in, the timeline you were meant to be on. You could sense it, you knew it. That's why you were so unhappy with the ones that you were on before and all that. Just like you could sense that, I feel like you could sense this person inside them. You've heard me talk about the dormant divine masculine, right? The divine masculine who you know they're a good person, but it's hard to justify saying that about them. Okay. And so we have the it's like there's a masculine, right? But inside is the divine. And it has not really been activated. But you can see it, you can sense it, you can feel it. It's like even though everything you're saying, you're doing, your actions, your words, everything is telling me you're bad. I can tell you're good, and I can also tell that you know deep down you are too. That is it's making me think about this. It's like the dormant divine masculine is coming forth. They've been activated in a way that I don't know. It's almost like you can activate me as much as you want to, but in the wrong setting, it won't matter, right? You can, oh, it's like you can plug something into the wall, but if the power isn't on, it doesn't matter. And it was almost like, ooh, it's like I have a blow dryer, but I'm in Australia and mine is a US plug. Now I don't have a blow dryer. And I do have a blow dryer, but it clearly doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And it's like the divine masculine, they had all of this. You as a divine feminine, you knew all these things, but you couldn't find the plug or there was no power. It was like it didn't matter what you did until you got to your right timeline. Nothing was going to work anyways. And that might be why divine wasn't going to waste a bunch of beautiful blessings and a lovely relationship that could have been lovely, but wasn't going to be because you weren't in the right place yet. I don't I I got to talk to Mr. Lightwork about this. I wonder if I could, let me see. I think he just got home. Baby? Hello? You're here? Are you doing something? Can you come here? I'm still live. I'm going to try to see if you can understand what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. I know he hates when I do this because he hates to be put on the spot, but okay, babe.
I hate when you do this.
I know. I'm trying to explain. Crap, what was I just? Oh, dang it.
I was just saying that because you got just heard you say it.
I know.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, yes. Here, the mic is right there.
What's up, everybody?
Okay. Dang it. Okay, here's what I feel. I feel like there's a portal. And I feel like when we step into the portal, things work. But outside of the portal, things don't.
Okay.
And that's because like a blow dryer or any electrical thing in America, you can plug it in here, right? But if you take it somewhere else, it doesn't, you can't even plug it in. So by all intents and purposes, you don't even have a blow dryer.
Right.
Okay. So if he's kneeling down now, like, all right, this is going to be a while. If before you get to the portal, I'm like, I'm going to buy you a blow dryer. You're like, why? Still sending me another blow dryer from Amazon from the United States will not make it better. Mm-hmm. then it'd be like, don't send it to me. That's not a blessing, or it's a waste, right?
Right.
Well, that's kind of what is happening.
Distraction, a waste of time.
Right.
That's what happens if you don't choose the portal route.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you go into the portal, all of a sudden, all your electronics work because you're in the right place. You're where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
So what I was trying to explain is like, I feel like the divine masculine and the divine feminine, what we've been experiencing for a long time until this point, was that we were working really hard even sometimes. Like, we're trying to plug that shit in. We're trying to make it work. We're trying to learn electricity and all that, we're trying to figure it out, but it just won't work. But then all of a sudden we get to the new place and it's just like everything works. And I'm trying to explain, it's like the reason why divine masculine, it wouldn't have mattered what they tried. They weren't in the right place. It wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
You could have even gotten into a relationship, but there would have been no chemistry.
Yeah, if it's not the right place and the right time, it doesn't matter how right it seems. If all the components aren't there to actually be right, it doesn't matter how right it seems.
This reading says that the divine masculine is no longer avoiding reunion because they finally understand, like, the world. Do you feel like...
I definitely feel a bigger comprehension and awareness. I feel like my horizon awareness-wise has expanded. I feel like I'm looking at things, the world, myself, us, everything, individuals that I encounter at the gas station, everything I'm looking at differently because of this. I don't even know what happened. Just shift would be the best general term. But as far as the divine masculine actually being able to take credit and saying, "Oh, I did such and such in order to get XYZ result," it would be a lie.
You guys, I promise he just got home. He could not hear the reading before. That's what I was trying to say earlier. I was like, the DMs are also finally just being like, dang, like kind of like I made my bed, and for a while they're like, fine, it is what it is. I'll just lie in it. But now it's almost like, well, wait a minute. If this is what I did to make this happen, then I do have power, and maybe my power can do good things too.
Yeah. It's all about understanding that power and harnessing it, because if not, things will just continue to happen versus you being able to eventually become an alchemist and make things happen in association with how the world works law-wise. But as far as knowing what happened, can't nobody tell what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
It just happened. And a lot of people are trying to figure it out. And most people, if they're smart, are not even trying to figure it out. They're just grateful that it happened and are riding the new adjustment into the new wave. Because a lot of people, again, they get caught up on things that don't matter. It don't matter how it happened. It does matter to a certain extent. If you try to figure it out and you keep coming up empty, don't continue to go down that avenue, because you'll continue to come up empty. It's not like you're not seeing something or it's gonna reveal itself because you did something specific.
Like, if you're not supposed to know,
if you're not supposed to know, you're not supposed to know. And a lot of people waste their time, waste their lives, waste their energy that they could be devoting to service, love, some avenue. In that way, they devote it to figuring out what happened to them. And at the root of that, a lot of people are not gonna like this, but at the root of that is selfishness, a need to know. It's a control highlighter to say, look, I will figure this out no matter what. And that is to the detriment of everything else that needs that focus and attention in that season.
So I'm getting two messages from this, and one says, is this, because one of the things that I tell people sometimes is that, like, the DMs, they could be stubborn, and then finally they have that moment, like they have that growth spurt, they grow into the man they're supposed to be overnight, and they show up at your house and they're like, let's go. And if you're like, hold on, what happened? In their mind, they're going to be like, oh, she can't be the one because I was just told everything's ready.
What do you mean, what happened? Everything that you were hoping to happen in their absence. And now they're presenting themselves to you and you're questioning everything you had been asking for. Instead of preparing, or if you were prepared, no, because if you were prepared that entire time and your divine masculine presented themselves to you and they were truly healed and truly ready, you would be able to identify that, know it's a thought, genuine nature. What am I trying to say? What's the A
Authentic?
Word? Authenticity, and be able to move forward in stride. But if you're looking at them and they are healed and you're questioning and testing and all these different things, you wasting time.
Now, is that not an equivalent for the divine masculine where the divine feminine relationships are what's important to us? We can go manifest and we can do and we can achieve, but relationships are important. So we're going to try to question that. The divine masculine can do relationships if they want to, no problem. Their hard part is actually the achievements and the getting and the having. Is it possible that 6 months ago when they started to understand, like, you know what, like things are different or it's going to change or whatever, that some of them in their selfishness and their stubbornness were kind of looking at divine like, well, tell me why. What was wrong before? Why now? Why can't I?
1,000,000%. That's humans, period.
Okay.
Humans, period, are looking for why, looking for understanding. And when we finally achieve what we have been so desperate for, then we're angry that we didn't have it prior.
Yeah.
Knowing deep down somewhere, if you really think about it, you would have fumbled it before. You were not ready.
Because you couldn't even hold it.
You were not ready. There was something that needed to be done on your side, because if it didn't need to be done, it would have presented itself before and things would be working.
Okay.
But they're not, because they need work on their side. And as a result of being mirrors of each other, there's work that you need to do on your side. It's equal and opposite. It's not the same exact thing. You have different areas that you need to focus on that they have different areas that they need to focus on. It's about that focus. So is it hemming and hawing about not having what you want and being mad when you finally get it? And again, my highlight is wasting time and energy.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen. And if you're not ready for it, it's gonna happen, and then it's gonna fall apart, which means that you weren't really ready for it, and it's gonna happen again. You're gonna have your Brett. You're going to be with your person. You have a divine masculine. Y'all are gonna be together in perfect divine timing. Occupy your time better. Stop worrying about things that are already set.
But what about when the divine masculine does the exact same thing, but just on the opposite, right? Because I do feel like that's if we're talking about the struggles of the separation journey for yin and yang, the yin and yang symbol, it's like the DF's biggest issue is the love.
Right.
The DM's biggest issue is the achievement, the ego, the wanting, the 3D wanting, the protection part, right? I need to have these things so I can help you.
Right.
So it's like, if the divine feminine wants to understand the divine masculine, they shouldn't try to understand relationship stuff. They should try to understand their own struggle with relationship stuff, not the DM struggle with relationship stuff.
Right.
Because that will help them understand the DM's real struggle in separation, which is actually the physical world, not the spiritual world.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the divine masculine is not worried about anything other than establishing themselves so they can take care of somebody. That's our ultimate goal, is to be the kind of person that other people can rely on.
Yeah.
And until we get to that point, not even within ourselves, because it's gonna these are tangible things that you can point to and say that takes care of somebody. This does something to take care of. So unless we have that, and we know that each person that we love that relies on us is taken care of,
then you're not good.
We're not trying to take on more things that we're going to struggle to take care of.
It's almost like a hierarchy of needs.
Absolutely.
Make sure the basics are good.
100%.
That's where DMs need so strongly to feel comfortable in life before they get into reunion or to a relationship or reunion, because it's like, I won't even be able to enjoy this. So it's almost, it's like reunion is a portal for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, this even kind of looks like the portal. It's like reunion is a portal for them too, because once they enter into reunion, if they're not ready, they're not going to be able to plug anything in.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, can I just ask you a quick question and then you can go, because you're on your knees and I don't want your legs to start hurting.
Hit me.
So first I'm gonna tell you 2 songs. Do you know Planet Soul, Set You Free? One of my favorite songs. Okay. But do you know, yes, you know this song. You know, I don't know what it's called, but it's Evanescence.
Bring Me to Life.
Okay, yeah, that one. I've been hearing those 2 songs. You know I haven't slept in 2 days, right? Well, you didn't know this, but I didn't sleep last night either.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, exactly. I keep hearing these. I keep hearing them. Now, you're hearing these songs in your head. I'm going to ask you for like a quick message about the divine masculine. Kind of like, you're in this place of intensity. You're 6 months out. Like in the beginning, it was all the ego questions, the selfishness, but now you're more like accepting that maybe the old path you were going down wasn't the right one.
From why to how.
Okay. So
that's the major question change in perspective for the divine masculine. Why, and instead of why did this happen or why is this happening, how can I use what's happening to help me out? The Nine of Wands. This is about self-protection. This is about being closed off. This is about going through a lot and the ramifications, the consequences of, and that being them being closed off and unwilling to step into the reunion, as we've been talking about, because a lot of things haven't worked out for them as far as being the person that they desire to be when they finally step into that role for permanence. So I haven't been able to stop thinking about what, since you said bring me to life, and the shift that we were talking about and how inexplicable it is, but most people are just rolling with it if they're smart. And it's that touching back on switching the question and perspective from why to how. That bring me to life part is like, how, now that I feel this in me, like this second life almost, how can I use this?
And if my message to them would be, you have to take the boundaries that you put up down.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff when you encounter pain that you automatically create guards and raise them so you don't feel that same pain. And so naturally, this is where the Nine of Wands energy comes through, is I've been trying to protect myself from everything that I've been through. And now that I've got this so close, even though everything in me is simultaneously wanting it, everything that I've taught myself over these years because of what I experienced is pulling me in the opposite direction. And until I get some things in order, I wouldn't feel right and safe. And I wouldn't believe that I'd be able to take care of you in the way that I need to, emotionally, physically, spiritually.
So why would divine open the portal and let you walk into this beautiful space when you bring in that energy?
Right.
And that's what I said is, okay, the divine feminine side of this would be make sure you're in the right frequency and on the right wavelength so that you can actually cross through this. Because I was picturing almost like, you know, those oceanic filters and those big Pacific garbage patch filter thing. And they say like, oh yeah, garbage comes in, but a fish can swim out.
Right.
And it's like
filtered.
Right. And it's like this is almost like there's a energy moving through and exactly like a grate. And you need to make sure that you can actually fit through the grate.
You need to be focusing on what form the grate is in so you can move accordingly.
That's exactly what I pictured. That's exactly what I pictured earlier. Okay, so it's funny that you saw that too, because it's like, where'd it go? Oh, you guys, where is it? Oh, I put it away already. So there was this card. I'm going to look for it because I think you actually being able to see it, you'll see what I was saying. This is when I saw it. Oh my gosh. I hate having to go through the deck. It's such a weird thing. But the girl is almost in like a ballerina kind of stance. And it looks like the stance someone would have to take in order to fit through one of those weird walls. You see that?
Oh, definitely.
Doesn't that look like, you know, those games, you guys, where the wall is coming at you and you have to shape yourself or else it's going to knock you over? That's kind of what I'm getting, is divine is asking you. And what did I say? I said, this is almost like a ballerina, like warrior power stance. And there's a grace to it, sure.
Oh, that's the word that came to mind when I see her arms and her head tilted back.
Yeah. And the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because it just kind of feels like what we're being asked to do might feel weird. But with her in that shape and thinking about a ballerina, it's like, dance like nobody's watching. And maybe in that moment, as you're dancing, you'll just you won't even really need to think about it, right? You don't need to go do friggin' weird poses. Like, you just be in your flow, just be authentic, seek the truth, like look for divine in all of this. And I think that's what divine masculine is doing as well. And that's where there's that opportunity for you guys to come together, or at the very least, finally be in the same timeline together.
The way I like to think about it is, if you were to really be handling it in a divine way, divine wouldn't look at you and scold you about what you've done. He'd wipe the slate clean and move forward in love. And that would be the best way to be able to be ready to accept whatever's meant for you in whatever time it comes.
Well, thank you, babe.
Pleasure.
I'll see you soon. Can you give me a massage?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. All right. Interesting perspective from Mr. Lightwork there. I was curious to see, first of all, if what I was saying was even able to be understood. But also, I wanted to see how the divine masculine was seeing it. And it was interesting because normally when I ask him to come in and into the middle of a reading like this, I mean, even if he asked me to do it, I can understand where it's just kind of like, okay, like I'm coming into an energy you've been in the flow in, and you want me to just jump in and figure it out, and it's weird, right? And he also just doesn't like to be put on the spot. So, like the fact that he so easily understood this, and he started talking about the shift as well. He mentioned it a while ago, though, for him, like I think earlier this year, probably in January. I think he kind of mentioned like something so like divine masculine that it was bizarre to me. It was anyway. So okay. I guess the question here that I have then is, what is the most important thing we're supposed to understand? We have the picture. We get that there's a toll that needs to be paid. Accepting what divine is offering to us will grant us the toll. The toll will not only allow us through, but also be the light, the guiding light, the activation for the entire realm timeline we're walking into. I see this. I see a divine masculine who embraces the toll. Them embracing the toll means they also have already embraced union. That's a huge message. It says once they yield, it's done. Surrendering can be something that has to keep happening over and over, which kind of, wow, actually that is exactly what we have to do, right? But when we yield, not surrender to an enemy, but yield to divine, it's completely different. Sheesh, man. That's almost like that point of, you can focus on detaching from them, or you can focus on yourself, which will lead you to detach from them naturally. Focusing on yourself usually means asking divine, like, hey, what are we doing here? So, what's the most important thing we need to understand? They need to put their boundaries down. They know they have to repair this. The portal's open for a month. What do we need to know? Ace of Cups. It's love. New love. I'm sorry, you guys, but I just hate to be the person that's like, oh yeah, reunions coming, reunions around the corner. Or I hate to be the person that's like, oh, just be patient. Da, 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 da. But to me, this reading is so perfect to anyone, no matter where you are on that spectrum, that says, I know it's so hard to believe, and it's so hard to trust, and it's so hard to know which way to go, and it's so hard to, oh, I know it's hard. But did you just see some of the stuff I just saw? Did y'all see like 30 minutes ago when the card flew across the table? My hand was like this. I didn't flick it or something. There's something weird going on, guys. And I think we misunderstood it a little bit. I think we noticed that it felt different. We felt different. We were different. Maybe even that they're different. But the disconnect, not reunion not being what it was supposed to be or not happening yet, made it feel like it didn't matter. Just like we get on our journey and we're like, oh my gosh, it's never going to happen. What am I even doing? Why am I even trying? They do the same thing, except not about love. See, that's what you have to understand. That's how you feel. You know you're going to achieve your purpose one day. You know that you're going to figure it out, that you'll make it happen. But you don't know if love is really going to happen for you if you're doubting, right? On the opposite spectrum, that's exactly what's happening with your DM, except they know they're going to be in a relationship. They know they're going to settle down and get married and have a life one day. They know, and some of them even know it's going to be with you. They're certain. There's no question of it. They just don't know how they're going to make it possible on their terms. That yin yang visual I gave of the struggles on separation is so important. And I say stuff similar to it all the time. And I feel like people don't get it. But I hope that you heard it today and you realize if I really want to understand how they feel about me, I shouldn't be thinking about how they feel about relationships. I should be thinking about how they feel about themselves, their power, and their purpose. And divine is finally going to bring things into the space where it all makes sense and fits together. And we say finally because it feels like so long, but really it wasn't finally. It was like that's the storyline. But in human contexts, that's the word we use to indicate towards the end of something, right? So it feels far away. It feels like end. But it's actually a beginning. And the timing was so right. Overall, what do you need to know? I just showed you, it's back here, right? Where'd you go? I just showed you her. Made a whole big deal, right? About, okay, make sure that you're in the right shape so that you could fit through the wall hole. If you get it, you get it. And then what we need to know comes in as same thing for them, but it's different. Notice how your body is forward, but you're leaning back. Notice that they're leaning forward, but their body is back and it's their sword that goes. This is a beautiful image of yin and yang that I can't quite, but it's there. It fits. It's perfection, actually. And what I need you to understand is that this message is reaching you at this time because you were missing something, but you don't know where to look. You wouldn't have known where to look. This message coming at this time is trying to signal you. That's where there were so many syncs and signs, even down to the songs, is trying to help you see what you're supposed to be looking for. What's your hint? The star. Stop looking for them. You want to find them? Look at yourself. Look in the mirror. You want to understand them? Try to understand yourself and then reflect that. You want to find them? Go to the future. How do I go to the future, Grace? Is there a time machine? Yeah, it's called second by second, moment by moment, minute by minute. And it's not a fun, fast time machine. It works basically second by second, unfortunately. That's about as fast as we've got. That is actually going to do so much for your person. So much to bring them to life. Because right now they're stone. And what's funny is, when the Three of Swords initially came out earlier, not here, with it, or maybe it wasn't three, but I just remember there was the Hierophant showed up, and the Hierophant was stone. And what this says is your divine masculine, somewhere along their journey, was turned into stone. I mean, mid-stride turned into stone. But there is something about the balance when you pursue you and your future and you really focus on being who divine created you to be and getting to where you're supposed to be, somehow or another, it breaks the stone, brings them to life. Ask yourself, when's the last time I did like a planning session? Not planning for the day I'm going to get into union. That's crazy. No, planning for the life I will have in union. Planning for the partner I will be in union. Planning to support my partner and to be supported in union. When's the last time you did all that? And maybe now's a good time. Very, very, very important. There is a lot going on in the astrology. If I were you and you're into that kind of stuff, I would do a deep dive. If you're not that into it and you're trying to get away from astrology, I would say maybe don't go deep, right? Because I know some of us need to pull back, but at the very least, ask divine to reveal to you. Say, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to look at this and then I'm going to pull back. What do I need to know about what's going on right now? And maybe even just scrolling through astrology YouTube and kind of checking the thumbnail synchronicities, right? Like something like that. I don't know why, but I do have a feeling there's something big picture happening and divine is really trying to show you that you're safe, that everything's going to be okay. It's almost like you're finally healing from the first like flow of the rejection and the denial. And for some of us, that was like 5-10 years ago. You're like, I'm just now healing. And it's like, yeah, one day after years of not even really paying attention to it, I broke down crying and mourned my grandmother out of nowhere. Things like that happen, right? One day we feel different. One day we feel bad, one day we feel good, sometimes there is an intensity that flows over us and then we wake up the next morning and we're like, "Whoa, I had no idea what that was doing to me." And I don't know if you knew, but something has changed. Something was changing, but now something has changed. And it's very important for you to not bring that energy. What did Mr. Lightwork say? He said, you get into union when you're not really ready or you're still stressed, you're trying to figure things out, whatever it is. And you spend the entire time distracted, disconnected, worrying about how you're going to make it all happen and make it work. Or you get in when you're actually ready. And I think that is what's happening here is divine is giving us the opportunity to step into things when it's going to be beautiful instead of when it's going to be chaotic, fall apart, and make us question everything. Final message about divine masculine. What is it that you need to know is coming with this love? In addition to love, that for them is just like, oh, that's whatever. There's this bigger thing that's really important to them. What must you be able to support them in and probably need to be in energetically yourself? This is ridiculous. Every journey begins with courage, vision, and a single step. What did I just say? I just said, when's the last time you did some planning? I'm really hoping you're willing to take the time, honey. The millionaire's journey. The journey begins. So this is really talking about the divine masculine. Like this is their first penny, right? Like this is their first the people who put the dollar, like this is the first dollar we ever made on the wall type thing. This is the divine masculine's new beginning. And you have to understand that they could be a spiritual millionaire, even if they're not a physical one. And to be able to support someone with that much, and honestly, you might be a freaking spiritual millionaire and you don't even know. But anyway, that's another story. If you want to support them, you need to be able to do the following. Ready? Every great achievement begins with a single step forward. It's not about having all the answers, Mr. Lightwork called that, but about having the courage to start. The path may seem daunting, but trust in your vision and take it one step at a time. What did I just say before? 1 second at a time, right? That's your time machine. The journey itself is where the transformation happens. Have you been holding yourself back? Are you still avoiding your purpose? Are you still afraid of what you are meant to be or how your gifts work? Just asking. All right. Final message from your guardian angels. Hold on, let me grab the book and Stone of Understanding. Whoa. I grabbed this, and this stone got trapped in my hand like that as I was grabbing this one. And I thought I was going to have to take it. And as I accepted it, it fell out of my hand. This is the storm. You think, but you have no idea. Ooh, I received that. I received that, Lord, and I'm listening, okay? All right. Well, what's the actual message? I'm sorry. I don't know why that was so funny. See, you thought there was a storm brewing. So did they probably. You thought everything was going to go wrong. You thought. And you passed the test. You accepted it. You said, fine, I'll take the detour, or I'll take the long way, or I'll keep going forward, or whatever it is you said, you did. You said, okay. And divine is saying, I have a reward for you. Divine is telling divine masculine, I have a reward for you. After 8 years, there is a karmic reset happening. That would have been what, summer of 2018? That was the year of the divine feminine. That was probably the year a lot of us thought, this is it. But no, we had to have these karmic completions first. We had to be brought back to life, awakened inside to the idea that it's possible. It's possible. And now divine is saying, good. Now I want you to go further and say, not only is it possible, but maybe I don't have to go through hell to get every good thing I want. Maybe the storm will blow over. What does your guardian angel want to say to you? Become more objective. I've got a booby here. I'll cover her little booby. All right. Where's our number 4? So we're in an establishing energy, guys. We're establishing, it open to ground yourself, but we're establishing ourselves in this energy. Okay. Become more objective. Here's what your guardian angels want you to understand about your journey, about this message, about your person, about your path forward. Okay. Develop a compassionate attitude towards yourself and others. And as divine feminines, this is a part of our requirement. And sometimes that can be frustrating, especially nowadays when compassion isn't cool. You're being challenged to step out of your subjective experience of what has been done to you and look at a situation objectively. Oh. Because if you don't, you're going to do what Mr. Lightwork was talking about. If you're not able to see it objectively, instead you're looking at it subjectively, you're going to want the divine masculine. It's like they owe you, right? And maybe some of you aren't even like that. But maybe you've followed certain readers or certain journeys or even, physical world. People out there saying, yeah, they got to do this and that. If a person has sorry, let me just start over. You're being challenged to step out of your subjective experience of what has been done to you and look at a situation objectively. If a person has acted in a harmful, dishonorable way towards you, you have an opportunity to understand the real cause that has made them behave like this. Often this cause can be found in what they have experienced in their childhood, which would point toward the lessons they have brought from other lives. This is a chance to develop compassion and see the situation differently. I'm going to try not to cry because this is like really overwhelming me. You're also being asked to objectively look at yourself and what role you have had in creating a challenging situation. If you can truly learn the lessons in this experience, you can move on to something different. If not, you will be stuck in a constant pattern of repeating the old. And if I'm not mistaken, a few minutes ago, you guys were talking about loops. Lenise, hi! Okay, sorry, focus group. So here's the action. I'm going to put this here because I have a feeling, I can't tell if you can you see this? I don't know, I just have a feeling some people might be like, yeah, I'm going to need that. Okay, so here's your little screenshot opportunity. I'm just blown that this is the card that came out. Because they, in so many cases, have really hurt us. And it's like, if the invitation, if in order to get through, to walk through into this, in this frequency, is to choose to see things differently, I do worry a little bit because some of us are so hurt or we're so angry or some of our DMs were so nasty or like there's a lot of pain in our community, and it's like it does make me feel bad because I don't want to tell someone who's been victimized to just think about where they played a role in it. I remember someone in the comments after I told you guys I had gotten like attacked by a dog asked me why I manifested it and I must have asked for it. Like that was horrifying to think of a spiritual person. They were like a spiritual business channel that commented years ago. And I don't like to say stuff like that on the twin flame journey to someone and be like, oh, hey, like you made your DM act up. The truth is, in some cases we have, right? Like I know that, but they did do a lot to us. And to have to go in and feel like after all this time of just wanting answers that, oh, now they're ready for reunion and we don't deserve answers. We just have to kind of go into it. It can bring up what Mr. Lightwork kind of referred to as like those selfish feelings of like, I deserve better. You owe me. You have to apologize. You have to fix this. Da, 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 da. And for them, they might be saying, listen, no words that I can say will ever fix what I did. Can you just give me a chance to show you? And that's the hardest part for us. So this is just crazy that it like to help us understand this message that this is the card. It brings up a lot for me as a guide in this space. Okay. Reflect on old patterns that keep coming up in your life. Why do you keep creating similar types of painful, hurtful experiences? Try to view them as if you were a therapist, or even better, a higher being. I always say that, right? Like, if I were divine, why would I have allowed this? Or if I were divine, what would my judgment be of this? Okay. Hypothetical, not real judgment, but let me do an exercise. How can you change and do something different, even though everything inside you wants to react in the same old manner? Ask, what is the lesson? And what new action do I need to employ to learn it? This could be to forgive the other, or it could be to gently confront them, or even take some time out for self-healing. So this is really saying, I think, prepare yourself for reunion or reconciliation or connection. And for some of you, if it doesn't happen right now, it could even be because it's like, there is so much like that might be a part of it, right? For some of you, it's like actually has nothing to do with any problems or whatever. It's just like our person needs time to acclimate. Like there's so many reasons why divine could be saying, hey, not yet. But for those of you who are it's now or it's coming soon, like shortly after this period, like just be ready because this last 6 months, I've had so many clients who've actually gotten into union, reconnected, reconciliation, communication, contact, like so many things have been coming back up, really shockingly too. And all my clients basically feel like they have blown it. Every single one feels like maybe they made a mistake or something. So all I'm saying is learn from your sisters and brothers. Don't make their mistakes, but also trust and honor that technically, if it wasn't meant to be in that moment, it wasn't really a mistake, right? But it was an opportunity for divine to tap you on the shoulder and say, are you willing to fix it now that you're sure? Final message of our reading. With all this going on, what does your divine masculine want you to know? How are they feeling about you? Whoa. I'll take it. I'll always forgive you. And I think it's interesting that we just went over this whole thing. It's kind of like 1919, listen to your guardian angel, forgive them, and they're in the same energy. I actually like this a lot. And it does almost even look like they're there already. And they're getting acclimated. So they love you unconditionally. Awaken. 1619, that was the first two cards, remember? Is it still here? I don't know where it went. But 1619, you guys. This is the beginning of the reading and the end of the reading. What? I know this connection is divine. Awaken. This awakening has brought about that unconditional love that is deep within them. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just having a moment. This is a love deck. It's matching the entire reading. The karmic, the moon, the blue moon vibe, the lessons repeatedly, guys. This is just like, they want you to understand that the last 8 years. Did I not just say this? I literally just said this, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just freaking out a little bit. It was a reset. And now this is time for those rewards, divine rewards. This is about a fresh start after a time of darkness and separation. This is about liberation. I told you. They don't want to talk and have one big conversation and then pretend everything's fine. They want to have a consistent experience with you. I promise to make it all up to you. I promise. They always knew they were going to have to, but they never really understood how hard it was, how bad they hurt you, how bad what they did was, until they saw what was coming. And finally, this separation has taught me so much. I have learned my lessons. You do not have to doubt me. Look at the colors. This is the night that you're leaving behind. And this is the new life. As the sun starts to rise and it's all revealed, I think that all that remains is unconditional love and divine purpose. That's who we are. And this season is ushering in spirit and truth. Peace to all of you. It's raining. Oh my gosh. It's still running. Oops. Hello? Oh yeah, it's still going. I forgot about that part. Gotta close the live out, Grace. Hold on. Since you're still here, I am gonna put a link. Okay. I'm gonna do a discount so that if you need to talk to me or Mr. Lightwork and I. But okay. If you're interested in chatting with me, I'm on call every day. except Saturday. Okay. And I do keep forgetting to tell you guys that. So my bad. Okay. I'm going to go now. I need to breathe. I literally like got up and walked away from the reading. And it's kind of funny. Okay. I love you guys. It was so nice to talk to you and hang out with you guys.